Nairobi County. It covers an area of 30.4 kilometers square, and it borders Machakos. It borders also counties like Tana River and Taita Taveta, that is Kitui County. So far, these are the counties: Mwingi North, Mwingi South. We have Kitui County, Kitui West Sub-County, Kitui Central, Kitui Rural. These are the sub-counties that are within Kitui County so far. The governor, Charity Ngilu, is the governor, but she has been trying to do quite some work when it comes to doing some development. There are projects that have been put in place in Kitui County. We shall be focusing on the projects, on development, health, education. So far, how is Kitui County doing? Remember, governor has accused the ward representative, that is the members of county assembly, of malice and being out to derail her development agenda. The members of county assemblies, on the other hand, are accusing Governor Charity Ngilu of misappropriating public funds and misplaced priorities. Keep the hashtag going. The hashtag is Good Morning Kenya on Twitter, at KBC Television, at Jane Wambui. Tag me at Ram Aguko. Our official handle is at KBC Channel 1. County Watch starts now. Thank you very much. This morning I'm joined by Honorable Peter Kilonzo. He is the majority leader and member of County Assembly, Athi Ward. Karibu sana.
Asante.
Also known as Tangawizi.
Wow.
And to my extreme left is Honorable John Kisangau. He is the minority leader and the Kwa Vonza Ward member of County Assembly. Karibu sana. Mbaki.
Good morning, Kenya.
County Watch, Kitui County. You are also supposed to be joined by Honorable Nganga Alex, the deputy minority leader, but he has not been able to make it. But we shall continue with the show with the two of you. The accusations given by the governor, accusing you of malice and being out to derail her development agenda. What are your thoughts concerning that? I will start with you, Tangawizi.
Thank you, Banaram. I don't count any malice in the work of Kitui County Assembly because, well, as much as we know our role in the Assembly, one is really oversight. And seriously, it is very important for people to recognize that oversight is not opposition. There are people who have taken, like, when you are corrected through oversight, somebody is opposing you. So literally, there is no malice. When we point out there is ballooning wage bill, it is for the executive to correct that.
So the aspect of the governor saying you're derailing her development agenda is not there. It's not true.
Let me say first, thank you for inviting us to KBC Channel 1. We are glad to be here. And as you said, my name is John Kisangau, the minority leader, and also the leader of government business in the House. So when I sit here, I'm actually here also to spearhead to share the government agenda. Yeah. So some issues here are very clear that, like the majority leader said, we have a role as an assembly. We have the representation role, we have the oversight role, and also we have the legislative role that is a constitutional mandate for the assembly to execute. Some of these roles may be viewed as opposition, or may be viewed as geared to derail government agenda. But honestly, some of the issues that we raise in the assembly are very valid, and only I would call for the governor to sometimes take a time and listen to the assembly, what they are saying. For example, the issue of the budget, which I'm sure will come into focus. The issues being raised by the assembly are really very pertinent. And the governor, if she took her time, she would realize that the assembly means good for our government. The Assembly is very supportive towards the agenda and all the 5 pillars she's trying to deliver to the people of Kitui. Yeah.
Okay, you say the Assembly is supportive. We shall find out about that relationship between you and the governor, and also the relationship between you and the people. Well, the hashtag is Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. Start tweeting at KBC Television, tag me at Ram Aguko. My colleague's handle is at Jane Wamboi. Keep the tweets coming in. The hashtag for you to do a follow-up is Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. County Watch is focusing this morning on Kitui County, and I'd like to find out from you. Do you think that Kitui County residents are really happy with the running of county business? And just before you answer that, I want us to remember that last year there was a section of angry youths who visited Kitui County, and they barred the members of county assemblies from entering the assembly chambers. It happened, and actually the members of county assembly could not be able to do even their legislative duties. Chaos almost erupted. I don't know how far it went. Do you believe that the residents of Kitui County are happy and proud with how the members of county assembly are doing? Yes.
Absolutely, yes. Ram, it is true. What happened let me just elaborate about the issues of the youth. We feel that the youth were induced by a non-quarters, which we still suspect could be the executive.
They were induced?
Yes.
It was not as a representation of the feeling of the people?
It was not a representation of the people. After all, why youth? Because when we talk about youth, it's not even youth where they are mixed up with the female youth. They were just, I would call them street boys.
But you don't expect the women to come and buy you. They're not that strong.
Now, let me just say, they really tried to buy us. But what were they buying? They were trying to tell us, let's not do our legislative duty. True. But is that one right? If I remember very well, there was a bill, there was a cooperation bill. There was a cooperation bill which was to be discussed that afternoon. The cooperation bill touches on 2 major projects for the governor. One is Kikotech, that is the Kitui County Textile Corporation or something like that. And the other one is the crusher.
Kikotech is Kitui County Textile Center.
Yes.
Yes.
Though the corporation bill has not been enacted as at yet. And according to what we are getting from the youths who tried to burn some fires, who lit some bonfire outside the assembly, they were pushing for the assembly to pass a very half-baked bill to be enacted.
Which bill?
Cooperation bill. Because there is cooperation bill is a bill which will make the Kikotech policies and all other regulations to be based on, and even the crusher, so that if we got to do any investment in Kitui County, the mother law has got to be there, so that the rest are formed. Kikotech will have its policy, crusher will have its policy. If tomorrow we are going to have another wing of investment, as to have its policy. But then at the top, there must be a mother law, which is cooperation bill. Today, as we speak here, it still exists as a bill. It has not been enacted. Why? It has a lot of loopholes. It has a lot of questions. At one point, the finance committee had to return it back for them to go and...
Who proposed the bill?
It came from the executive. It came from the executive. But what they did copy-paste from the corporation bill from national government, while noting that there is a different setup between counties
and national.
So when you try to look at it through, it is messy.
When the youths came to your county offices and prohibited you and barred you from entering your chambers, it was not a representation of the people. They were. You still believe that they were hired or coerced to do so?
I so believe because if you find a group of 50 youths, just male youths, storming the assembly, lighting tires outside the gate, and just talking the same language of, you know, you must pass this bill, you must pass this bill. You know, who else? I mean, they just paid to do that.
What was the response of the members of county assemblies to that?
And they were not happy. And I can tell you, some of these tactics may not work well with this assembly.
Some of the MCAs became violent also.
Nobody became violent. The assembly remained calm, but the comments which came in on the floor from the honorable members were not good at all for the executive, because they believed the youths had been sent to disrupt house business, which, to me, according to me, it's true. These youths were just paid to come and disrupt the house business, nothing much. And they don't represent the views of the people of Kitui.
They don't represent?
Not at all.
They represent the views of a specific individual.
Specific quota. And eventually, Ram, what happened is the police, through the office of the DCIO, they embarked on their duty. And how many youths? 10 to 15. For how many days? Almost 3, 4, 5 days. Who bailed them? 700,000 or something like that? 70,000?
Each was coming out with 60,000 cash.
60,000 cash.
Who bailed them out?
The executive.
60,000?
Yeah.
And you say there were approximately around 50 youths?
Yeah.
Wow. The governor, in one of the national celebrations last year, I believe it was during the Jamhuri Day, she said this, and I quote, with reference to the members of county assemblies, that they are trying to deny me money to work for you, but their day is coming. She said, I will go to the villages and explain my predicament to the people. They should recall what happened in Makueni, where all the MCAs who are giving the governor a hard time were sent packing. That is what he said.
Yes,
said.
yes.
What are thoughts concerning that?
That is a very political statement. Kitui County scenario cannot at whatever level be compared to Makueni. Makueni scenario, I want to bring it on board. This is my second time, and I also listened to the case. Second time in the assembly, and I listened to the case of Makueni.
Okay.
The governor, Professor Kifuda Kibwana, was protecting public funds from being misused or embezzled by maybe the members of county assembly.
What makes
in Kitui County? In Kitui County, it is the other way around. It is the MCS who are battling it out with the governor, telling her not to waste public funds.
The governor is saying you're denying her money.
Listen, that is I said it is a political statement, and I started by saying it is a political statement. Let me just also go another way. Why hasn't she not gone to the ground and say her version? Because the ground is hotter than even the assembly.
You're not afraid that whatever happened in Makueni with
We
the
welcome
governor will happen again in your own county?
We will come down to the ground, and we asked her, let's do it. Not even this we're quoting. She went someplace in church, and she said that she wants the government dissolved. We said, welcome. We can even get the department, the Kitui County government dissolved, and they save Kitui County public funds from being wasted. Seriously. So we welcomed that. It is now 6 months down the line. She has not gone to the public. She has not dissolved the government like Grandon Samboja. So what is she waiting for?
Is your case the same as what's happening in Taita Taveta?
I don't know.
Ram,
you're not afraid that the governor might do to you what will happen to...
Let me be very honest with you.
Yes.
And even when you look at the Kenyan Constitution, Article 174, it talks about the objects of devolution, objects and principles of devolution. This article gives the public power of self-governance through enhanced public participation. When you tell me the governor will go down to the people, for example, the people of Yatakwa ward, where I was voted overwhelmingly, she will go there and find them. And the county executive took them through public participation.
Okay.
They gave their projects, which they thought were a priority to them, so that the governor can implement. this assembly, which you now say she claimed denied her money, passed the budget. In fact, in the first financial year after we are elected, the 2017-2018 financial year, she overhauled the budget, and this assembly approved that overhaul, which is also it is an illegality as much as I
then
know.
You approved an illegality.
We approved just to make sure
what does that say
the
about
government. I mean, it is not good, but we did this in good faith just to enable the governor to work, because she said, no, I cannot operate with a budget from the previous regime,
but then
because I have my own
if you had
agenda.
approved an illegality by then, what makes it different now that you don't approve it?
Let me just stand on what he's saying. We never approved an illegality. It is a supplementary, saying we want to align it with our 5 manifesto agenda.
Yes, exactly.
Like
I wish we had Honorable Nganga here, Nganga Alex.
So I want to finish. I want to finish.
Yes.
But
so
this is the minority leader, Ram, and they represent the government.
We approved this budget to align it to the 5 pillars.
Okay.
Yeah? You are telling me she will go to the public. Which public? It's the same public which gave the priority projects which were to be done. And they can, so there is nothing on the ground. So they are also waiting for her. Yeah.
Waiting for her to do
For her, yeah, to come and tell them
Where
what
the
happened
projects are.
to the projects.
They're also waiting for her.
Yeah, they are waiting for her.
You're on the ground to approve. You can. Approve
We
that.
are also there. We will be waiting.
Google.
Yes.
We made a count tour. We made a count tour. I think it's in the month of March. And we had to see, having now 2 years on the ground, what the government has done. And we went for in the 40 wards, because Kitui has 40 wards. What did we see? All what was left by the previous regime. That is what was there.
Incomplete projects.
Either complete or incomplete. And let me tell you something. What we have from this government is programs. And I think some of the programs will be mentioned here. I am not aware. But what we have is programs. Maybe programs which people are not even satisfied with what has been done. When the governor walks to the people and she says that she has been denied money, we gave her money for the year 2017-2018.
Okay.
We have given her money for 2018-2019. Now we are ready. We have even passed the budget to give her money for 2019-2020. But we cannot show anything on the ground. Who is denying people the service delivery? It is her. It's not the county assembly. We have given her money. Close to 8 or 10, not even 10, close to 22 billion right now. Because the budget for Kitui County is 10 billion plus every year. So for 2 years, that is 20 plus billion.
Okay. Are you paying your workers?
That's a good question.
From the silence, are you paying your workers?
Of course we are. Yeah. But last month, salaries delayed. Last month salaries were paid in July 20th. Yeah. Again, the blame came to the assembly, that the assembly did not approve the supplementary budget. And you know so well, salaries or recurrent expenditure is never subjected to any supplementary budget. So the budget that we approved in 2018, for 2018-2019 financial year, had all the salaries.
It had all the salaries.
And we have never touched the salaries
I wonder
in any supplementary budgets.
Why? What happened? Because Kitui County workers are saying that their June 2019 salary was delayed without any reason, and I'd like to know why. And remembering that the county assembly, you talked about the supplementary budget, you failed to approve that, which was to cater for their salaries, and the executive requested for a second supplementary budget in the financial year 2018-2019.
Ram, I just said no supplementary budget touches on recurrent expenditure.
It was all there.
Meaning, salaries for all employees for the county government were factored in the budget that was passed in June 2018-2019 2019 financial year.
Just
again,
clearly.
Yeah.
2018, 2019 financial year.
Yeah.
For the salaries,
Yeah.
the budget was not there or was there?
The budget was there.
It was there.
Yeah.
But how comes we had a supplementary budget that, based on what I hear, is that even the governor said that she feared that you might not pass it. Remember, there was a letter that the governor wrote to the control of budget dated June 27th, 2019.
Yeah.
That was a letter that she said that there were indications that the supplementary budget would not be passed, hence the need to recall her approval for assembly requisition.
She was right. She was right in suspecting that we may not pass that supplementary budget. Why? Because we had enough money for the salaries. We rejected that supplementary budget because it was moving funds from development to pay salaries.
Did you budget
when
for the
we
salaries?
had budgeted for salaries? We also have an issue with the control of budget. Why? We don't know how it happened that monies meant for salaries were approved by our office to pay anything else.
So she approves money from her own office
I
to
don't
pay
know
the salaries.
how that happened
Ram.
because we had money in our budget for salaries.
Ram,
Yeah.
it does not take rocket science to do salaries. For example, Kenya Broadcasting Corporation knows how many employees and knows how much they earn and knows when increment is going to be done. So the factor of increment will be done at whatever month. And therefore, it is a case of saying 20 times X plus increment of this much, and you get them. They will get the money.
So you're saying it is not rocket science. If it's not rocket science, how comes they are complaining that they're not being paid twice now?
Now let me tell you, I just open to this. Once because of incompetency.
From who?
From the office of either finance or treasury. Number two, it is still from the same office, a lot of incompetency and a lack of planning. Let me tell you what happened.
Okay.
In between, in the month of August, when the budget has been passed, they brought in K-Chick. They called Kitui County Health Cover. They brought it on board. When they brought it aboard, they said it is going to have extra employees. Now, here comes one question. When the budget, because they are the drafters of the budget, as we approve, Assembly just approves the budget, they draft the budget. When they were doing this, and this is what I'm calling incompetency and lack of planning in Ngilo's government, they failed to factor in that in the month of August they are going to have extra doctors, they are going to have extra nurses, they are going to have extra cardiologists. I don't know all those terminologies in health. Therefore, what comes on board in the month of September, then they do employ X, Y, Z number of people, who in not even a shortfall or whatever, they will take about almost $500 million in a budget recurrently.
So the problem comes in from the executive, which you blame.
Absolutely.
They are doing a wrong, their work wrongly, incompetently,
Yes.
by giving you a budget that is actually something that you don't agree with.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And around.
What about the workers themselves, with whom you had an agreement? Remember, you had an agreement. I don't know if it's on the 26th of every month or the 5th of every month. You will clarify which date the agreement was that they were supposed to be paid. What about them? Fahali wawili wakipigana, nyasi ndo huumia.
You know, Ram, there has never been an agreement between the county assembly of Kitui and the county employees, whether in the county assembly itself or even in the executive, on when they should expect their salaries. Because
You've never given them any agreement concerning
this is not our
when to
role.
be paid.
This is it's not the county assembly to pay the salaries. But we can question why they have not been paid in time. Yeah?
Okay.
The county assembly, in its roles, we can question why the county government executive has not been able to pay. But again, the county employees have also their right to question why are we not being paid. Like what majority said, in that Ministry of Health, that is where everything went wrong. When we passed the budget, this ministry employed over 500 employees who were not budgeted for.
Who employed them?
The county Ministry of Health.
Ministry of Health.
Yeah. These employees were not factored, in the budget that we had approved. So meaning they had to bring a supplementary budget.
So the case that we're having right now where workers were not paid by June was because there was excess manpower.
Now let me take you there. They had to they had to bring in.
That's what you had said.
They had to bring in a supplementary budget so that they can factor in these, salaries for the extra employees who were not in the budget that was approved. Yeah. Then when they brought it, again, there was no money for that. So they had to adjust their revenue collection projection from 500 million to 800 million, so as to factor in the 300 million now for the extra staff. So guess what happened? At the end of the year, we only managed to collect 430 million out of the projected 800.
430 out of 800.
Yeah.
Okay, so what next for your own workers? What do? They have not been paid. That is what stands. What is the solution for them?
Solution, Mr. Ram, is very simple. We have come up with a resolution as an assembly. No more recruitment. Unless the executive listen to this, no more recruitment. Now, they will need probably to pull up their socks in collect what they promised if they want to retain the workforce there. Number 3, we will also follow the natural attrition. Some people will retire, others will die, and all that kind of thing. And maybe it can adjust naturally. If it doesn't, Mr. Ram, you will see the same mess a month like June, like what happened.
Again, Mr. Ram.
So you're saying I'll come to you. You're saying the only solution for the workers who have not been paid by June last month is that we have a limited number of workers who are going to be employed, or a reduction of the same workers.
Now we are saying
that's what you're saying.
No. What I'm saying is that you see the workers who were not paid, they were eventually paid, and I know they were paid with 2019, 2020 budget.
When were they paid?
Date 20, either date 20 or 21.
This month,
July.
Yes, they were paid. But now, what does it tell you? Because they've been paid with the money which is for 2019, 2020, there is 1 month which has been pushed to the previous year.
If there is a worker who is watching and you can be able to approve, you can tell us whether you were actually paid by the 20th or not, so that you can put them to task. Yes.
So because they were paid, has we had to come up with a resolution, and we have passed a resolution which I forwarded to the governor for her to look at it. There is no more recruitment. I'm surprised. The government cannot sustain the workforce, and it has still a lot of appetite to still employ, either through casuals or permanent. Last week, we 2 committees received some COs to be approved. Seriously? When we are not able to pay for June salary, you bring some more COs to be approved in the assembly. It's shocking. So we are saying the 3 measures.
Do you normally do vetting?
Vetting as 2 levels.
Yes.
It went through the first level. First level is whereby it goes to the committee concerned, because these are COs, they are vetted by the committees. So one went to trade, the other one went to Committee of Land, Infrastructure and Urban Development.
Yes.
That is roads. So that other one went there, and they were vetted. We are waiting, as an assembly, we are waiting for the report from the 2 committees, so that now the second and the last and the final vetting process ends there. I'm not sure. I don't want to predict what is going to happen, but I know we have a resolution. No more recruitment.
Okay. Now, back to
you.
I'm aware we interrupted you in your...
Yeah. I wanted to mention the issue of the ballooning wage bill. There are also issues that we noted as an assembly, that we have officers from the previous regime who are still working with the county government as civil servants, of course, but they don't have responsibility. They are just there. Others have been employed to replace them.
Do you think you have
These
ghost
people are
workers in
still
Kitui
earning.
County?
These people are not really a ghost worker.
There are many.
There are many. That's why you find a scenario whereby wage bill rose from 2 billion to 4.5 billion in 2 years. So this is something that really needs to be checked. And we agreed to have a head count. We want to really know what this employee is doing, where, and how much they are earning, so that we can be able to contain the ballooning wage bill.
Okay.
Yeah.
But your governor launched or initiated several multi-million projects in the past 1.5 years. Okay, let's find out their impacts. Okay, we start with the different projects. And Dengue Revolution, what has been the impact of this?
Dengue Revolution was a good project. Let me say, it came in at a time when actually we had enough rains in the entire county.
Yes.
And the harvest was good. The county government gave each household, I think 200,000 households, each 2 kgs. And the harvest was really good.
So this project is doing well?
The only thing that maybe went wrong here is the market. You remember the governor had promised 100 shillings per kilo. Yeah? And then the issue of India, the market in the Indian market was shut. And then we turned to the national government. Our governor tried to talk to the His Excellency the President, Uhuru Kenyatta, so that we could sell this produce to the, what is it? The, yeah, is it
NYS.
NYS? And just before they could seal the deal, a lot of corruption happened in NYS, and that was the end of the story. So apparently we had to consume our dengue. Some sold the dengue at a low price, others it became
you did not import?
food to us. We did not export any dengue, but it was sold locally at low prices.
So technically that project went at a loss.
That project flopped.
Another project here. The Kenya
Before you just move on to that. Dengue Revolution. Dengue Revolution.
Remember you are silent in the first.
Dengue Revolution. Dengue Revolution. Initially, when the governor came on board, he actually announced in the public that within his first 100 days, she's going to change Kitui. We were all happy, and we clapped for her. Dengue Revolution was one of the items, and I remember just from conversation that she said she's going to introduce our partners because she has a lot of partners. One problem I have with the many projects we're going to mention here is something I will call here on a national television full disclosure.
Full disclosure.
Of projects. Ngilu's government has failed to give full disclosure of our good projects. I put good in quotes.
Why are
For
you putting
example,
that in quotes?
for example, one is this one. I just want to elaborate. Who is this? Red Cross was brought on board as a partner.
Yes.
In my understanding, and as the majority leader of Kitui County, I was meant to understand that Red Cross is going to provide for the 400 metric tons, which were meant for the 200 households.
Which it did not.
Which it did not. When we had walked the journey, and when we were half the journey, the story changed, that it was one-to-one project. So the Red Cross was to do 200 metric tons, and the Kitui County government is going to do 200 metric tons. We watched and we got aloof because we have already started the project. At that level, the farmers have been promised that the market ready is there, and they're going to get 100 shillings per kilo. One thing we need to ask ourselves in a national television is whether the government of Ngilu introduced dengue in Kitui County as a food security measure, or it brought it aboard as a commercial product. Seriously, it was a commercial product.
Did you support the dengue project?
Yes, we supported.
You as a majority leader?
Yes, I supported initially. But there is one question I asked on podium, and I asked her, and I asked the people who were behind this project. What are we going to do different from what the non-governmental organizations, which have a lot of experience with the ground, have done before?
You said you are in government.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, as the government, what was your vision concerning the dengue project? And right now, how would you respond to what he has said?
You know, Mr. Ram, dengue evolution was a very well thought idea, especially in a county whereby it's a semi-arid county.
Yeah.
Where we receive very little rains, and dengue does well in the entire Kamba region. This issue, the issue of market, is what made this program, collapse, because we had anticipated to sell this dengue at 100 bob per kilo. When we could not find market for the produce, that is when things went wrong. Because everybody who, some people who used to plant maize turned to planting dengue, expecting to harvest. And now this is why, it is a sad story.
What happened to the budget now? It's just gone. That budget is not just gone under the carpet like that.
No, but we still had produce, Mr. Ram.
But you're saying
we never threw the dengue
went
away.
at a loss.
It's only that we did not achieve the 100 shilling per kilo.
Ram,
yes.
We are not going to walk out of that. Let me just say something. The way this thing was placed before us on our bosoms is what really amazes us. The way the government wanted to take Kitui citizenry for a ride. My people, where I represent other ward, they were taken to a step of opening accounts with the First Community Bank, which is based in Isli here, instead of even a local bank. I remember questioning people. We know how banks work. A simple detail of an ID. My people traveling all the way from Kampani to come to Isli.
But now you had approved it. Now, are you saying that you were misinformed just as the people, yet you represent the people?
Yes and no. Yes and no. This is the case.
Yes.
And this is what I started by saying, full disclosure. At one level, these people were told that the dengue they received from the partners and the county government, they will have that amount will be immediately they sell at 100 bob, it will be deducted from their accounts. You see how sweeter it becomes. And of course,
so you are.
Listen, look at how it becomes sweeter. So they opened accounts. They were being charged how much? 500 shillings. In front of national television, dengue evolution went away with a lot of money from Kitui County, 500 shillings per account. We wanted to challenge the governor to refund that money to the people where they got this money from.
Let's move to Kitui County Textile Center. What has been the impact? Kikotech, remember, it has hired over 500 youths and even secured a multi-million tender from the state of tailor uniforms for over 6,000 chiefs and their assistants over the country. What are your thoughts on that?
Now, tricky.
Mr.
Tricky again.
You are misinformed?
The issue of full disclosure again comes on board.
Okay.
Why? Before we even begin, I told you about a mother law called corporation law. Whenever government wants to do any investment, before, be it Kenya Railways or whatever, where they're going to invest, there is a corporation bill, national corporation bill. The Kitui County is yet to speak here. Let's not even go to Kikotech. I don't want to mention Kikotech. I'll mention this as a flip as I go. Doesn't have, listen.
Why don't you want to mention Kikotech?
I will mention it because you have insisted.
Okay, I've not insisted anyway.
It doesn't have a corporation bill.
Yes.
It is a very good, let me tell you, it is a very good idea if it is only well thought, if it is only planned. But now, wait a minute. Kikotech has been in operation for the last 6 months, including the tenders we are talking about. Who are the bankers of Kikotech? Who owns Kikotech? Who runs Kikotech? Because they don't have regulations and they don't have policy. Who runs it?
You tell us. You are the ones who are on the ground as the members of county assembly, majority leader.
Yes, listen.
And you are the one who approved
listen,
it.
none.
No one is
Why?
in charge.
Because they don't have bankers. Who audits them? Nobody. Of course, they have not finished a year.
Who is in charge of them?
Who is in charge? A company called Trend Links from Nakuru. They are saying we are on the transition level where we want to give it to the county.
Why did you approve it? Why did you approve of it? If you knew all these faults were there in Kikotech, why did you approve of it?
Let me tell you how it was introduced, and that's the reason why I brought up the issue of full disclosure. It came up about in our CIDP, because in government planning we are documents. So there were documents. In the document, what we went for is something called government industry. It was mentioned that. Then we said, because polytechnics are a function of county government, they were mentioned three polytechnics, which were to start, because polytechnics are in operations, we know they have machines, we know they have the structure. So what went ahead is, what the money we allocated for? We allocated for 3 polytechnics. One was Shongila, why Kikotech is just built aside. Then the other one was Mutito Polytechnic, and the other one was Chuso Polytechnic. So that is how the money, and then because each polytechnic was given its own amounts, executive in their own cabinets, they go there with their own wisdom. They decide to collect money from these 3 polytechnics, remove money there, and they form another thing called Kitui County Textile Center. I don't know what it is. And it is not even in Shongila, it is not in Ikiso Polytechnic, it is not in Mutito Polytechnic.
Then where is it?
Money has been approved.
Money has been by you.
Let me.
You are the
polytechnics.
Ram, let me say this. I think I will not go back to how Kikotech came to be.
Yes.
In terms of where we got money to put up the facility. When we approved the budget, we approved as money going to the 3 polytechnics the majorities mentioned here: Mutitu, Chuso, Shongila, and Chuso.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they combined the whole amounts, and then they put up Kikotech.
Okay.
Right? Let me finish so that you get a good perspective of what's happening here. Then they came to us with a supplementary budget. Money had already been spent. There was nothing in the bank. The money is spent. Now Kikotech is here. We had no choice. But even if we rejected the supplementary budget, there was no money anyway.
But then you still have the choice to reject it, because accepting it went and accrued more budget.
You reject the budget. It is not just about the Kikotech. It has so many other elements.
Okay, then you're saying Kikotech is in Mutitu, Shongila, and Chuso Polytechnics. But then Mutito and Chuso are far from Kitui County. Why then would you approve that? It is far from Kitui town.
No, those were polytechnic. Let me clarify this. I said initially Kikotech was not there. We approved monies for Shongila Polytechnic, for Mutito Polytechnic, and the Chuso Polytechnic. Instead, the executive went in their own wisdom. They brought the 3 polytechnic allocations, and they started off another project called Kikotech.
Yeah.
This is all a cobweb. All right. Yeah. The hashtag is Good Morning Kenya on Twitter. Start tweeting the hashtag at KBC Television. Tag me at Ram Aguko. Tell us what your thoughts are. I'm seeing people are commenting here. We shall sample them up even as we continue. Let's talk about the Ballast crusher project that you have. You installed it at Kwakilui Center in Kitui Rural at a cost of 80 million shillings. Back, it's in your ward.
Oh yes, it's in my ward, and it's a good project. If at all, it had a clear policy and legal framework. At the moment, as we talk, we don't know how it will operate. Yeah, because if you look at it also came in a supplementary budget. It had already been purchased. When we campaigned, we had told people that we are going to install a ballast crusher in the Yatta, where we have plenty of rock. And then when this ballast crusher was bought, and it was installed, now there is a, the issue is, who is going to operate this crusher? Who is going to operate? Because it was initially bought for the cooperative societies.
Minority, you are the ones who approved this. It is in your ward. Why do you say that you have no idea about what impact it was going to have later on? Why do you reject it?
I am not rejecting it. I'm only saying policy and operational framework
that you approved.
We never approved any. We never approved any. Some of these projects, Mr. Ram, need a very clear operating legal framework.
How did this project begin, from the initial stages to the point that now it's on the ground and it has started? By the time it starts, who approves it?
Let me guide you here. For such a project, we need to start with public participation. Yeah? From public participation, we go to now the prioritization. Is it a priority? Yes, it is.
Okay.
You budget for this project. Yeah? You implement the budget.
All right.
And then, Mr. Ram, not the other way around. Not the other way around. In our case, we are like starting with the, implementation, budgeting, then prioritization, and then we finish.
As minority and a ward representative, you have no control over what happens within your ward.
I have control of what happens within my ward, yes. But, I don't have that, my role is not to implement.
Yes.
My role is to oversight. Yeah?
Ram, again, a case of full disclosure here.
Again.
Okay.
You have a lot of full disclosures today.
Yes, which is not being done by this government. They think, but they don't open every end of, for us to know. Let me tell you, crusher, budgeted for 80 million. And before I even go to the 80 million, because you're asking now, in the Public Finance Management Act, there is a clause which allows the executive to spend money. And that is very dangerous for counties, to spend money and they report to the assembly within 2 months. Suppose they spend and they don't report to you, and when they report to us, even they don't call a discussion like, this is what they want to do. They do the project, because listen, that is a very dangerous clause. And if the Senate, they are listening, and the National Parliament, that is one of the dangerous clauses which is eating the county assemblies. Because the executive is allowed to spend money and then report. But you remember...
So sometimes do they report?
They will report it through a supplementary. Then you tell me, the public tell me, why didn't you refuse in the supplementary? And they will tell you, I reported through the supplementary. Now, let me come to crusher. Crusher goes in there. As when we are politicking, we want votes. We will come out and say, when you elect me, I'm not saying that he said that, but maybe when even the governor can say that. When you elect me here, I will give you a crusher. Yes, I will do that. Then, when you are in the office, you are put into too much pressure to a level that you make sure that you honor your promises. Now, through honoring your promises, you find that you have left some gaps. What are the gaps in the crusher? Number one, we cannot allow an investment which is going to be done by public funds only to go and benefit a SACCO. We will first ask SACCO, if it is a SACCO, what is your participation in this?
But you are asking them after they have done the work already.
No, that is for the... Ram, Anguko, kindly, I want you to note one thing.
Yes.
I am, if I fail in my duty, there is somebody called Auditor General who is waiting. There are other bodies who are really employed. On me, I'm not fully employed to go and monitor or handcuff people who mess up, because you can do it consciously or unconsciously. There is where Hauko comes on board. This time not Anguko. Hauko now comes on board and he goes to audit the projects and he would sell you. If you read the story of the crusher, you'll be shocked. Now let me tell you one thing.
Yes.
What is, when we're asking for policy, this thing doesn't have policy again. This year, in our budget, they say they want 70 million. To buy what? To buy a hard mover, I think it is a crawler, which can do the stones from underground, And then They want to buy tipper. They want to buy a spade. That are the mover which can load the stones in the tippers to take them to the factory. They want how much money? 70 million. Now that is the second time. You remember we gave them 80 million. Listen, now this budget they're asking for 70, which was reduced almost to none. Now next, let me tell you what is going to happen. They are going to ask money for compensation. Now, this is what I'm calling full disclosure. When you are beginning a project like this, why can't the governors and the executive sit down as a cabinet, draw the plan, and even show how it is going to be funded, how it will be run, and they first go into... I know my governor is listening. I know she will be told. But this element of saying the law will follow me is very dangerous for Kitui County. Because that is what she says. I am too fast for law. Law will follow me. There's no way law is going to follow.
Okay.
Let her have policy.
All right. You have a cross-breeding project, the artificial insemination program, under the livestock sector to better the animals. Okay. How many cows do we have so far that have given birth to?
I don't know.
Silence.
I don't know, Ram. Who is to answer that? Who is supposed to answer that?
Who is supposed to answer that? You are here, minority. You are here, majority. If not you, who? You approved.
Mr. Ram, you know some programs, I don't know how they arrived at, because even the Auditor General, if he came to Kitui to audit that program, which will cost almost, it already cost us as a county almost 30 million. Suppose you send the Auditor General to just do an audit of how this money, whether there was value for money.
There is no value for money.
I would say there is no value for money in that project. From where I sit, that was a total waste of public resources.
Okay, let's talk about Kitui County Health Insurance cover. Keichik, what's the impact there?
No, before you go to that, I would have wanted to hear what the majority would say about...
He was quiet.
No, I was quiet.
Maybe you were silent.
Maybe in other words, we have some cows which have produced.
AI.
Tell us.
Artificial insemination. Artificial insemination. It's a good project if it is well thought. I would, and this was my voice when the Committee of Agriculture reported to the Assembly that this is going to be embarked on. And I said loudly, let it not be a mass project. Let it be a segment. Let them look for at least Kitui Central and a bit of Kitui West where they can find these cows, and a bit of Kitui Rural where it comes from. Let them try what we call a field project for it. And then later they can, but the government did not listen. They went ahead and they rolled it out everywhere. Now, Kitui County is either arid or semi-arid. These upgraded cows or whatever animals, they're going to come up with increased burden of pasture, increased burden of water, increased burden of pesticides and whatever. Awareness is not created very well. The ministry, and when you look at this, I want you to see it. The ministry, for the last 2 years, the ministry, and this is very clear, the Ministry of Agriculture, Water and Irrigation has been the conduit. Start with Dengue regulation, Dengue revolution. It is there. Look at AI. It is still there. There is now beekeeping. It is still in agriculture. And when you look at this one, they are very lucratively financed. So what I'm saying is this.
Have you tried this AI?
Personally?
Yes. Do you have a cow that has given birth?
No, I didn't even dare take mine because mine are small cows which can they can't take AI. So I didn't. And neither did I tell my people not to. But I wanted to tell you, this is a project you cannot even audit.
Okay, in your ward, have you done due diligence to find out whether there is a cow that has given birth through this project?
Hakuna one.
All right. Mheshimiwa.
Yes, please.
There's your ward is Kwavonza.
Yes.
Okay, so from Kwavonza to Ikuda, you've not seen any cow that has given birth through AI?
You see, it's not easy to tell. It's not easy. You may not even know whether there is any, but I have not heard anybody tell me, you know, my cow was
I think, Ram, you'll call the executive, and these
inseminated
questions
and,
are very good. They will
yeah,
tell you
they
how
may
many,
be able to answer.
how many
wish we-
conceived, how many, because AI asking from those regions where they do it, it's a repeated exercise. You do it, you miss, you do it, you miss, you do it, up to almost the 60th time.
You know, the distance from Kwavonza to Ikuda is so far.
And you know, Ram,
Anyway,
again.
let's move forward to another project.
Oh, okay, please.
All right? The Kechik. How
Kechik.
far are you?
Kechik, I think it's now the end of first year since it started. And it's a good medical cover. This one has the regulations we passed in the assembly. And the problem is ownership of the project. I think it needs a lot of civic education to just ensure that people know about it and they can enroll. But again, now they need to renew. This is the end of the first year, the end of the first year cover. I doubt whether many people will come out to pay the premium, which is 1,100 shillings.
No one will come.
Why? Because there are issues that were not clear. For example, if you broke your arm and then you go to the hospital, maybe in the level 4 hospital in Kitui, they will tell you, maybe you go buy a metal plate, go get this with your money. This is information, what the majority leader mentioned here. Another issue of full disclosure here. They never told the public that this medical cover only covers this and this kind of complications. Yeah. Again, this was supposed to be a revolving fund. When it was brought to the assembly, the idea was it will be funded by the county budget the first year, and then it will be sustainable as people are contributing money, 1,100 per person. It will be self-sustaining so that we don't just continue pumping funds in the program.
Your thoughts on Kechik?
Kechik.
Briefly. There are many projects we need to
I
touch
want
on.
to be very brief on Kechik. Kechik.
Full disclosure.
Kechik, well, we passed the regulations. That's one.
Yeah.
But let me just begin from the countries worldwide, globally, those countries which have succeeded in universal health care or health cover have had two items in common. One, they have embarked more on preventive than curative.
Okay.
Number two, they have embarked they have equipped, they have made sure that their facilities are fully equipped, right? So, if you are from Mekoda, you don't incur cost to go to Kitui. If you are from Kyuso, you don't incur money to come to Mwingi level 4.
Okay.
Now, the Kitui County government, when they were trying to implement this one, they settled on a very flimsy footing, saying that we have 14 level 4 hospitals, while for real, we have only Kitui level 4, which now I understand it has been turned to level 5, and Mwingi level 4. When you go to Kiusiani, when you go to Kanyangi, when you go to Ikutha, when you go to Mutomo, Zombe, when you go to Kyuso, when you go to Shekuru, all those hospitals are on transit from level 3 to level 4. They are not yet there. When you look at the personnel, when you look at the facilities. Now, Ram, when it comes to the issue of preventive, the people called healthy community workers, those people who stay at the villages, they are the people who prevent people from going for curative, which is expensive, right? So they will teach people to wash their hands, how to clean, how to do their toilet, and that kind of stuff. That one lacked in Kitui County when we were implementing the health cover. Okay. I asked a question. Why can't we even repump our little money to NHIF which has done more research on this.
But have you?
But that one, now let me tell you, as we speak now, Kitui is not doing well. I will tell you, it is not doing well. And we are headed toward NHIF, which they refused in first place. The monies which were collected by 127 household, that is almost times 1,000, that is 127 million. We do not know how it was well spent. One, let me tell you something. When we passed the regulation, it says that there must be fund manager and there must be a board to manage that fund. What do? They put this money in a consolidated account of Kitui County Assembly or Kitui County Exec, whatever county government. They put in a consolidated. So what does it mean? When we are doing returns at the end of the year, 30th, right? All the monies are closed there. Okay? So what happens to your insurance? Because this is an insurance cover. Just like the way the minority leader has said, we registered 127,000 households. I wanted to challenge the executive to make sure that they even add a single household on that. Instead, they would decrease. Why? Because of poor service. People concentrated from all corners to the two-level hospitals, two level 4 hospitals, Mwingi and Kitui. People sleeping on the ground, others, whatever. And when you ask, you try to ask the nurse, they tell you, go to Kenyatta. Now, and they watch. Is that what we are paying money for?
But now, there is something that the governor had said, and I quote, in the last 2 years, patient traffic at the county referral hospital tripled from 400 patients to more than 1,200 patients daily. Another indication that people have confidence in the improved medical services in Kitui County. She said that we are setting up an intensive care unit, a burns unit, and a maternal theater at the main hospital this financial year, that is 2019, and to further improve the efforts to make Kitui a model county.
That is a cover-up statement. That is a cover-up statement. People would travel, would increase from, you said 200 to 400, just because the other 12 facilities are not up to date. They are not level 4s. How does a level 4 refer you to another level 4?
But now it is level 5.
That was meant a week ago.
Let me ask you.
Yes.
Ram.
Yes.
You know, a level 5 hospital. A level 5 hospital has a ICU, HDU, a CT scan. Do you know we are talking of an hospital, Kitui General Hospital, and I want to go on record on this national television.
Yes.
We have a CT scan which was delivered there, I think 2017, late 2017.
2020
yeah?
Financial year.
Up to date. When patients go to that hospital, they are referred to a private CT scan outside there.
So you have a CT scan within the county.
At the level 5 hospital you are talking about.
The level 5.
Yes. Because a level 5 hospital, Ram, I'm almost calling you doctor. I don't know whether you're doing something related to that. So, this is a level 5, which has no CT scan functional. I'm talking of an operational machine, CT scan. No ICU there, no HDU. What are you calling a level 5? What is it? Is it just a name?
Or you just want to attract the 300 million?
You know, we need to get, we need to stop this PR thing.
You know, it's quite interesting because for the first time, it made headlines. Kitui County made headlines that you had the first successful brain surgery at Kitui level 5 hospital.
You know, PR will kill us.
Yes.
Let me tell you.
We are dead.
PR will kill us. You know, the reality is, we really need help. Instead of praising ourselves, and we know we have problems, it's like you saying, oh, I will buy you lunch. And at that moment, you don't even have a single bob in your pocket. What are you going to... You need help. Tell people, come on, come help us.
What about this brain surgery that took place? What sign does it have for you?
I saw it. I saw it, and I saw the governor in front of them. They did it. Where on earth do you go for a brain surgery, and in the next 5 minutes you are talking to the public? Tell me. Just tell me. That's a joke.
It's a lie.
It is a joke. I don't know whether lie is a joke, but it's a joke. It's a joke. You go for a brain surgery, at the next meeting, and in the next 5 minutes, you are addressing media.
You constructed a medical store in Kitui and Mwingi level 4 hospital costing 10 million shillings. Is that true?
What?
Yes.
10 million.
We don't know whether it is constructed. We are actually asking for where that money is. It's among, let me tell you, Ram, this one was supposed to be done 2018-2019. It was supposed to be done. We are not aware where the 10 million, whether it was built or it was not built, so, because it is not there. And if it is not there, we also need to see the money. But that is very little.
Were the hospitals constructed in Mwingi and Kitui?
What?
Were the hospitals constructed? The medical centers?
They are there.
So you can go on record to say that the brain surgery was a sham.
I mean, I just asked you. You go for no surgery, not a brain. You address us, we will be happy.
Let's talk about the lorries and livestock transport. That project, how far are we? What's the impact that it has had on in your county?
Zero.
The trucks, for the livestock?
Yes. The trucks, the lorries.
The governor took EACC to court. EACC is an issue that is in court, so I will not want to discuss that.
Okay. No, we are discussing impact. I will discuss impact zero.
But the impact is
zero
at the moment.
For the last 2 years, having committed our money, probably paid, I don't know whether the money was paid.
No money was paid.
No money was paid. But the matter is with the SEC. I'm not going to discuss the issues of governor taking into court. That one is another ridiculous statement. I know even the next person to be taken there is the DCIO and then DPP and probably, you know. Now, to court. But no, listen to this.
Okay.
First, I'm in the Committee of Trade. Okay. These trucks were supposed to be 10. We could not understand what it was. We removed them actually. But when the budget went to do whatever they said, the minister came and they said, this is some of the budget we have introduced because it is already spent, so you cannot remove these 5 trucks. I really wonder why you are saying that you are creating wealth for the people. And you remember, there is that gentleman from Zombe who moves with that livestock yard from there to the abattoir, which is in Kitui, and he earns some money and he cares for his family. And you also know there are people who are offering transport for these livestock from there to Dagoretti. Then you go into competition. Government goes into competition with their own citizens.
All right. There's a lot that we have not touched on. Miss Tourism Jamboree. How far are we?
He attended.
Impact,
so
you attended it?
He also attended, but let me say this. It happened only once. Miss Tourism happened only once, and we have not had Miss Tourism last year. Last financial year, but it was good. It was good. It was good.
No impact to the Kitui. No impact to Kitui people.
Wait. If you never attended, probably you can say there was no impact. But I will tell you, on the same day, I think on the same day there was Miss Tourism.
Yes.
I think there was also a Churchill show.
No. Churchill show was involved with rugby sevens. That was before.
That was before.
Oh, all right. That was before. On that show, we had a multi-project.
But on the
Churchill show.
Yeah, we had the rugby Churchill show on the same day, right?
Yeah, but the jamboree,
the Miss Tourism was on a different day.
Okay.
But it was a good it's a good idea especially for the youth. It's a good idea.
So where was it held?
It was held in
Zambani Rock?
No, it was not held in Zambani Rock. It was actually held in one of the hotels in Kitui, and it was good. That one was a plus for the youth.
It was a plus. Yes.
I am saying it was not a plus.
Why?
For the youth. Holding an event just once, and even after having maybe chosen very those beauty pageants, one for, I don't know, commerce, another one for tourism, another one for trade. And you stop at there, and then you give them 20,000. You have not helped them. I really wanted to see what the executive would have done with the people they selected. And because the minority is there and he is in government, he can tell me the people who are chosen, The people who are chosen, what have they been doing for the government, for example, because they are beauty pageants for Kitui County? Now, you have had it clearly. Last year, they never held it. So to me, it has no impact at all, because we would be seeing people who would be flying the PR better for Kitui County, Miss Tourism, Miss Commerce, Miss Trade, all that kind of thing. Where did they go to?
Let me answer that.
Yes.
You know, my brother here will also need to understand that some of these functions are meant for the youth, and most of them are students actually. Some are in Kenyatta University,
and
they are ongoing.
We had some from Mutomo.
And they are ongoing. They are still in college, so you will not just pluck them from the university and then you make them, you know, sit in the offices there.
So you've not done any follow-up with
those? Of course, we've done follow-up. Some of them have been coming when we have, for example, the Environment Day, when we are doing tree planting. They are the ones leading the exercise.
There.
Yeah, they are
for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Has the Ministry of Tourism taken some of these ladies?
Of course, and they have been well taken care of. They've been given assignments to do when they are not in class, and they appreciate what the county government has done for them. But I want to assure my majority leader that it is not the last Miss Tourism we have had.
Yeah, we still have 3 years.
We still have another 3 years.
Yes.
Probably we can, you can give your input in the, next.
If asked.
Yeah, if asked. Yeah.
If asked.
Yes.
All right. Let's move to one more thing. You had something that happened 3 days ago. There is a fire broke down at your county's financial department on Sunday night. What happened?
What happened is the fire raised down the building.
What caused it?
Yes.
Found the reason because
we woke up in the middle of the night. The fire, very intelligent fire. I want to tell you, Ram, very intelligent fire, very selective. It would go and notice that this is where documents for finance are kept, and it will just burn there. It knows where because the county commissioner for Kitui, it's they call the county commissioner nowadays. County commissioner is just next door. The fire knows there, and the fire knows when to burn when there is no interruption. And the fire is very intelligent to an extent that it knows when the fire engine is broken. Ridiculous fire.
So you have a broken fire engine in your county?
That's what we were told.
It was in October last year that the same department, finance department, you lost procurement documents because of theft, burglary. Quite interesting there. And we had so far you have complied with I don't know if you've complied with the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 2007. Have you complied with that act?
I wouldn't comment on compliance because really I am not sure. But the issue of fire in our Ministry of Finance, I think I even told I replied to a comment from our deputy governor when he raised the issue. I told the deputy governor that, you know, we only needed fire or floods to sweep these documents, because we are talking of a whole financial year, 2018, 2019, which we cannot account how money was spent. We don't know. We don't know. And we are talking of 4.5 billion shillings development budget. They had to ban that office. I'm sorry.
Senator Edna Kuambua said this, and I quote, "It is sad that county finance officers have gone up in flames. It is also sad that the county fire engines have been grounded since it was bought." Interesting there. Governor Gilu said, "It is not lost on my administration that we are operating in a poisoned political environment where some leaders are quick to jump to imbecilic conclusions at any misfortunes that affect us." She said that that the senator should be investigated by police for what he claims to know about the fire. Do you believe that this fire might have been an intentional thing? Because according to Governor Gilu, he said no sooner the burglary occurred than the same senator started making allegations against the county government. He produced documents which naturally would be in the custody of our registry.
And that is not hard to get. I think that statement, whoever was drafting that, because this looks like a draft, and the governor probably never read it.
Okay.
This is a case whereby the governor and the drafters of this kind of information needs to know that public information, and according to the constitution, is public. You can get this information. There is no private document. That they are private document which they needed to have, and they should not have been displayed wherever.
So this was a very clever fire.
This is very clever fire.
And let
Now,
me
look at
add this. Let me add this. You know, when such things happen, we need to address the problem, not just start throwing stones at people who react on what's happening.
So who was throwing stones at who?
I mean, when the governor blames the senator for, you know, on the issue of fire, I mean, the senator is always not in, he's never in Kitui. Why would you blame somebody who is just asking what happened with the county government?
All right. I want us to talk about the status of education in Kitui County. How far are we when it comes to improving the level of academics in your county? Let me start with you within 1 minute. Do you think you're doing well?
We are doing fairly good. You know, this is a national government function.
Yes.
The county governments are only coming in when it comes to early childhood education. So it is a national government function, and they are doing well, especially on the issue of CDF. I've seen projects, I've seen funds going to the schools, and we really are trying to help them where we can. So education so far, fairly good.
So far,
but
fairly
we still need some more from CDF. If they could allocate more money on the CDF, then that would be very helpful.
So how far are you, just in general?
We are not doing good.
You're not doing good.
We are not doing good. The function for county government in education is literally early childhood. It's actually issues of polytechnics. It is usually issues of just the basics. Okay. And let me say this. Since this government came on board, it erased the issue of caring for our toddlers. I mean, ECD classes are no longer, they were scrapped.
They were scrapped. Now, let me look at this. You said you are doing fairly good. You said you are not doing good at all. For example, Mbukoni Primary School in Kitui East. This is what is happening there. It has cracked mud walls, no desks, no doors, no water, no textbooks, no electricity, no playing field. In fact, the tablets that should have been used there are no longer there because of insecurity. The tablets are in the custody of Kalawa Primary School, which is another nearby school. They have 2 teachers. Their lounge is made of twigs, and they have shallow and shared pit latrines. Let me mention one last thing. Wangwiu Primary School in New Ward, that is in Mwingi East Sub-County, the blackboard is too small. They lack desks. They have holes in the walls. Not forgetting that ECD classrooms construction in each ward budget for 40 million shillings. You're saying we're doing good?
No, my statement was based on the national, function. Now let me mention on the issue of ECDs. ECDs, we have had problem, especially on the teachers. The ECD teachers are not permanent employees of the county government of Kitui. They are just cashiers. And some of them are degree holders, others diplomas. So to motivate them actually to achieve even meaningful education standard for the kids, we really need to have them permanently employed. Number 2, the issue of ECD classes. When this government came into power, I'm telling you, we have not had, the cross-cutting ECD construction of ECD classes. We had.
Have you seen this school? They don't even.
I know. Some are in my ward. So I know how they look like. Because we had allocated 40 million per ward. I mean 40 ECD classes, because we have 40 wards in Kitui. We had allocated 40 million
per ward
per Kitui County. Each ward 1 million for ECD class. Yeah, that is 40 million. But this money, again, for the last financial year.
Yeah.
We don't know where it went because no ECD class was put up.
Your children are staying on the floor.
They are staying on the floor, yeah.
On their laps.
Yeah.
Yes.
The issue of, even as we continue complaining about the MPs and the CDF, remember, that is a county, that school is in a county, right? Governors have what we call executive orders, right? Even from the monies they get, either from donor or whatever. If a school is seriously tattered, it is the responsibility of either the ministry, which is under executive, to remove the shame from their boss. So what am I talking about? I'm saying we are not doing good, because if we still have a launch which is made of twigs, if we have, did you talk of mud and wars with cracks and whatever, existing in Kitui County, it is for the executive, it is for the governor, the advisors and the ministry to take away shame from the boss, from the government, from the county where I belong. We are not doing good.
Then I wonder, if everything is for the governor, why we have the members of county assemblies. But now let's go to the hashtag. At Terence is saying most of these projects are clearly a failure. The county is clearly not an exemption from the others that have embezzled their funds. At Kambura, Kirimi says Ndengu revolution seems to have not brought any food security whatsoever. Then that's one of the big four agenda. At Ndekei says, you guys, you chopped off 7 million from health.
7 million?
Yeah.
That the guy is not informed. It's 700 million.
700 million?
It's not informed.
Why did you chop it off?
Which I can tell you the reason.
Yes.
When you employ 500 employees, we need also to look for money. If you have money for a development, then we remove money there so that we can cater for what you are trying to bring in. We are trying to balance what they are trying to do. Number two, they did not even adhere to the fiscal strategy paper, which is a document which is illegal. When we gave them, they surpassed that, and they said we have employed. It is the mandate of the county assembly also to approve the budget, and for that reason, a balanced budget.
And the case says, so was the surgery a scam?
Yes, it is.
Mheshimiwa has said we are dead. Are we dead? All right. At Kambura, still says, clever fire indeed. Viongozi mtaonyesha wananchi mambo. All right. Thank you very much. Keep the tweets coming in. The hashtag is Good Morning Kenya. At Kabaka Brian says, how about banning of finance office? Okay. So, Mheshimiwa, you have problems in Kitui County.
Yes.
That seemingly needs to be resolved. I want us to bring this discussion to a close here, as you address the issues to do with security. Remember, we had a case in March where we had an 82-year-old who was attacked in Musenge. What's your current state of the county government when it comes to addressing the state of insecurity? You remember, I am aware that there is a female aspirant of, member of county assembly aspirant who was attacked in Mwingi Central, who was injured. She ended up in hospital. How do you address the security issues?
The matters of insecurity countrywide is a problem, because now you have brought in somebody who has been attacked in town. People even here in Nairobi who are being mugged daily. So insecurity now is
but how do you address it in your own county?
In Kitui County,
yes.
One thing we should notice here is that security is a national function, because counties don't hold much. But I know the previous regime tried to do a borderline, which they cleared. I know the senator, has been trying to woo the security committee here several times along the border, and they have tried to move in some police camping there, and I think that one is really going to assist us. My suggestion, because this is not much on county, the Kanyonyo training camp, which is here, seriously, if government wanted to solve the issue of insecurity, needed to not to have been put at Kanyonyo at the center of Machakos and Kitui, needed to have been taken to the border line so that those people go and train there. You know, when they are training there, insecurity probably from external aggressors will reduce. But now since it is there, it's still here, I don't know what really needs to be
Because
done.
I'm remembering, for example, along the porous Kitui Tana River County border, you have conflicts over pasture and water for livestock.
And it's going to escalate
and
now.
let me mention something on that, because just
If you don't do anything about it,
issue,
it will escalate.
that issue is more of a national government matter. And if you remember, the CS, Honorable Fred Matiang'i, was in Kitui some months ago. And this was one of the issues that came into discussion with the Insecurity team there. I remember he was accompanied by the regional commissioner, the county commissioner, and also the larger security team for Kitui. And they discussed this issue. And the CS assured the Kitui residents that they are going to have this issue addressed once and for all. So as much as lately we've not had any issues of those camels coming from, the issue has been camels coming from the other side of Tana River to be grazed in people's farms. So I'm sure the national government has taken proper measures to make sure that these people do not again cross to the other side.
And what is concerning the human-wildlife conflict? There is a recent occurrence where we had a 3-month-old baby who died in Kitui East after the baby was attacked by a baboon in a vegetable garden when her mother was still in the land. The baby died, sadly. Human-wildlife conflict.
Issues of human-wildlife conflict are not taken seriously in Kitui County. I would say that. Why? Even in my own ward, because I have Earth River, which has water flowing all through. I have so many hippos, crocodiles, I mean, killing animals, killing even human beings.
Even snakes.
Even
fact,
snakes.
People are dying of snake bites.
And nobody seems concerned. And this is an issue that we've even written to the Kenya Wildlife to make sure that this issue is addressed. Otherwise, people will just have to, harm these animals.
Ram, I last over the Good Friday, that holiday, Easter holiday, I happened that I went to Kilaguni, and as I was paying, I made a joke actually to the guy who collects the entry fee, and I told them, you guys, you are very prompt when you are collecting money from us, but when our people are involved in, actually I never knew that I would come for an interview like this, and I said, and when our people are involved in a conflict with your animals, you take ages to pay. You go register a case with actually the community office in, for example, Motomo, or even Shekuru about conflicts, but it would take forever for them to act on it.
No one does anything.
And nobody does anything. Well, when you try to follow, they say it is upon the national government to act on the promptness for these people or these victims to be paid. Mr. Anguko, it is very sad. I border my ward on the other low end. I border Savo. People, the hyenas there, the cheetahs and the lions. Immediately they break out from there. They enter into people's households, and you wake up one morning, find 10 or 20 goats dead or sheep or whatever. And it takes forever for it to be paid. I want to call upon national government to act on this kind of legislation.
We hope you'll be able to solve it now, finally. And I'd like to start with you, and then you'll have a final word, minority leader. What is it that Kitui County has that other counties should come or can come and do benchmarking? Starting with you.
Mr. Guko, we have many things you can benchmark on. Have you ever, you can benchmark on, you can come and see, have you ever heard of Nzaman Rock?
Okay, I've heard of it.
You have heard of it?
Yes.
Nzaman Rock is one of the rocks where you can come. You go around 7 times. If you are a man and you want to become a she, you walk out dressed. That's one of it.
Okay. Now, in terms of development, what do you have?
In terms of development,
not doing good.
Comme ci, comme ça.
Let me start with the leader of minority.
you know, people can, if at all, we have very good programs in our county. You know, I give credit where it's due. Like Kikotech is very good. It was a very good idea.
The president told you to make uniforms.
Yeah, the only problem is when it lacks the legal operational framework. After we've done that, and after we have every policy in place, Kikotech is a very, very good project even for other counties to adopt. So that is something I would request the governor to just ensure that everything is in place, so that we can have a operational entity for the county government that other counties can come and copy.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That is Kitui County minority leader giving us his thoughts. That is Honorable John Kisangau, also known as Mbaki. And but what does Mbaki mean?
No, Mbaki is a name, it's
just a name.
Yeah, it's a name.
And my majority leader, that is Peter Kilonzo, also known as Tangawizi. You will talk about your jina.
Tangawizi bana is an additive. It makes things. It is an additive. It is a medicine.
So you bring taste to the county.
Taste to the county, to the politics. Yeah, taste.
They come out by taste. Keep the hashtag going. The hashtag is Good Morning Kenya on Twitter at KBC Television. Tag me at Ram Maguko. County Watch ends now. We were focusing on Kitui County. So far, do you think that you're satisfied with what it happens? Next week, it might be your own county. So stick around to Good Morning Kenya at this time. Now we have come to the end of this show. A very big thank you to you for tuning in all the way from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. See you again tomorrow morning. But finally, remember today, Punguza Mizigo is going to Nairobi County. They will be presenting that bill before the members of County Assembly. And at 10:30, they will be presenting they will be having a conference outside the County Assembly. They will be moving around the country, but just your take, just a yes or no. Do you support Punguza Mizigo? Yes or no?
No.
Do you support Punguza Mizigo? They will come to your county.
I wouldn't support.
All right. Keep the hashtag going. A very good morning to you. May God bless you. May God bless the work of your hands. Keep it KBC. My name is Ram Aguko. Sure.